Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we have 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts, Daniel. I am joined with a real gang of people today. I've got Sherman, I've got Slothy, I've got Thunder. It's kind of late for Thunder, but it's good. Thunder, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a bit cold here. I'm not running heaters at the moment. So.
That's fair. And Slothy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Happy the week's over. Very, very busy week. How are you doing?
Good. This should be, I think, we've got face-to-face coming up, so I've been getting ready for that and stuff. A good promo code into the 99 for a discount if you're coming out to it and stuff. Come play games with us. We're going to be recording, doing lots of cool stuff, but I've just been getting ready for that. Getting some of like the stuff for the giveaways we're doing away there. Shout out to our House of Cards and our AI armor stuff. It's going to be pretty fun. But other than that, no, I've been good. I can walk again. I've been walking all week. No crutches, no cane. I've been living the dream. I went to work yesterday to check if I can still get in and out of the truck because my leg has been so messed up, and no problem. So I should be back to good for my back to work again. They better not push it off again. I like making money. And Sherman, how are you?
Doing good, doing better than last week. So still under the weather, but it is what it is.
That's fair. I'm glad you're starting to feel a little bit better.
Yeah, it's nice not being sick. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I feel that. We've got. I was just saying earlier, I'm sad we're giving a bunch of the stuff away because this is like some of the coolest. We're going to be doing some Jumpstart and some Foundations. It's coming out. It's officially out right now because of pre-release, and it's like some of the coolest cards I've seen in a long time. They really did nail it with this stuff, you know? Everything I've seen has been pretty good. So let's jump over and start into our talk a little bit about Foundations and stuff. Who wants to start us off here?
I'll start us off here. Yeah, Thunder.
Okay. Sure. So first on the list here, Bloodthirsty Conqueror. It's a 3 and 2 black for a 5/5 Vampire Knight with flying and death touch, and whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life.
That's a pretty wild creature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's exquisite blood essentially. So a combo piece.
Well, it goes into some good decks.
Mm-hmm.
It's also got like good creature types, like for vampire, for knight. Like it's good. And a 5/5 flying death touch is not very vanilla at 5.
Yeah, it's annoying.
No, it's true.
Mm-hmm. And this slots very nicely into like the Lord of Pain and the new Valgavoth and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it goes in so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything that's aristocrats, it goes in. But like at the same time, like I don't. As good as this card is, I don't think we needed another exquisite blood.
Definitely not.
I also don't think so. Like the again, you don't even need it to. There's not a deck it doesn't fit into in Commander if you've got if you have the card sitting around, because whenever an opponent loses life, I attack Sherman, Slothy gains life if he has it out, right? There's like not really a downside to running it. You just massively gain life. It's like a reverse Strange Soul Warden kind of deal, you know?
Well, that's the thing. Like when we were playing like in the red tier, you know, like I had the Mothman deck, and like Slothy brings on exquisite blood, and like everyone's dying from the rad counters except for Slothy. He's gaining the life.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's I think it's a pretty silly one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm taking the next one.
Okay.
Unless you have something. What are you going to say?
No, I was going to say someone take the next one because I want the third one here.
All right, fine. We have Chandra, Flame Shaper for 5 and double red. Legendary Planeswalker Chandra. Oh man, we have to do so much reading. I should have taken this. It comes in with 6 loyalty. For a +2, you add 3 red mana. You exile the top 3 cards of your library. Choose one. You may play that card this turn. So it's not bad. +1, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it has haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this token. That's really strong. And then -4, Chandra deals 8 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers. Okay, that's not bad.
I personally think it's the weakest mythic.
So far, like compared to Bloodthirsty, yeah, it's pretty weak. But
I wish
the rest of their mythics. Yeah,
it's just so far because of how that first ability. If that first ability was exile 3, you may play those 3 this turn. That would be so good because then you're gonna likely hit a land draw. Like that would be awesome. But you get your 3 mana. It is really good ramp. It's pretty aggressive ramp. You exile top 3 cards of your library. You choose one. You can play it. It's okay for that and stuff. But the alt on it is just pretty weak. I guess the fact that you can get it out as a piece of removal immediately is not
but
horrible.
For 7 mana,
that's my exact problem with it. If this was down at like a 6, maybe a 5, then this would be a great card, right? But like, let me talk a little bit. Like this next one, high cost card, high reward on it though. Herald of Eternal Dawn, such good artwork. It's 4 triple white for a 6/6 angel. It has flash, it has flying, and it has you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good angel.
Yeah. I can see this being like the thing that everyone's gonna at first see and be like, I'm slotting this into all my decks so that I can deal with the combo players, and then later on everyone's gonna sell them because they're like, I don't play against enough combo players.
Well, it's just so nice that it again, the you can't lose the game is normally nice, right? But normally someone else can still win. You can't specifically lose, but they can't win. But if they have a like Slothy is a notorious put in you win the game player. Like Slothy lives the Strixhaven Stadium life, right? So so all of a sudden, if you have this like Slothy can't win the game for it, or like I run Angel of Destiny in so many decks. I love that life gain thing, right? So it's so nice to not have it. And it's also very nice that other people can't win, you can't lose, but other people could still lose. Everyone else could still lose.
Yeah, I see this going to 3 kinds of decks. Not necessarily all kinds, because if you're going for efficiency, there's other cheaper options available that give you the same ability, essentially, the same protection. I definitely want to put this in my Giada and Errant Flash Flyers, because obviously it's flash and flying. And you can cast it straight off the top of the library suddenly, which is pretty strong.
That'd be rough,
but also, there's that new mouse commander, Arthur, who can just put it into the battlefield straight away when he attacks. And then you got a flicker, but you basically get to cheat it in for like just 2 mana, essentially. So decks like that, maybe Kalia, I think, might work as well, right? So it's dragons and demons and angels and stuff.
My strongest not competitive deck, I think, is my Selvala Angels deck. It's like the Selesnya Selvala, not the Thunder Junction one, the Explorer Returned or whatever. This is going in immediately, obviously. Like, it's such a good angel. Such a good angel.
I do like it, though. I could see myself putting it in some of my decks.
Slothy, you take this next one.
Yeah, next up, we've got Kato, Cunning Infiltrator. 1 double blue for 3 loyalty legendary planeswalker Kato. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a loyalty counter on Kato. +1, up to 1 target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Draw a card, then discard a card. -2, create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. And then -9, you get an emblem with whenever a player casts a spell, you create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. I think this is real solid.
This is
in
pretty crazy.
Attack-based decks. This is going to get up to 9 so quick and so frequently.
I want to see this hit that ultimate multiple times for sure.
That's very true. There's nothing stopping you from getting more than one of these alts. And whenever a player casts a spell, you get a 2/1 blue ninja. That's pretty good. I'm probably going to put this into every Rego deck I've made, and I've made many Rego decks because there's a whole unblockable deck, right?
Yeah.
That's,
do you think?
Go ahead.
Do you think Wizards will ever create a card that destroys emblems?
I sure hope so at some point, because like some of these emblems are getting a little silly, especially with like how easy you can copy an activated ability and stuff. You copy the activated ability of this, and like no matter how many times you keep doing this, if you throw this into an extra turns deck or like you said, a combo deck, even if you made somehow a like blue what's the word I'm looking for here? The Elminster deck, the Scry deck. I have that one as a Elish Norn deck. And it Proteus staffs over to an Elish Norn and stuff. And it keeps making these things. And they're all flyers. And it's all extra turn cards. So like I could just like get like 13 emblems. If I can't kill someone, then every time they cast, I get like 13. It's a lot. This, and again, like I said, when you look at some of the mythics in this set, right? Like this versus the Chandra, like I'm jubilant if I crack this Kato. I'm stoked. It's I'm joyous. So there's no other word for it. I'm like, yes, right? Whereas the Chandra, I'm like, it's okay. The next one, Sherman? Woo. The next one? Good. You take this one, Thunder.
Oh, wait. I wanted to take the worm. Someone else take Niv.
Okay, well, Thunder.
I'll take Niv Visit. I'll take Niv Visit. All right, so we have Niv Visit, Visionary, for 4, and is it? So it's going to be a blue and red. Legendary creature, Dragon Wizard, 5/5, flying. You have no max hand size, and whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards. That's just stupid.
It's such a good budget deck. It's so good. Because you can like all of the things that don't really work in Commander, like the end the festivities kind of thing, where it's like 1 damage to each opponent and each player, right? That's a 1-drop, draw 3. That's ancestral, like Vision's good. This is one of the ones I'm the most excited for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's another combo piece as well. So
well, and it also combos with every other Niv Mizzet version of itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
once again. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, when you look at, like, the quality of some of these mythics and stuff, like, this is a great redo of Niv Mizzet, because generally speaking, it's always been you draw and you do damage, right? So this is, like, such an opposite deck of it. Like, it's, I think it's a new path. And, like, Spellslinger, little damage to everyone decks don't really have a place in EDH, right? Because you run out of steam so fast. You can't lightning bolt everyone in EDH.
Mm-hmm.
But when you draw, like, 13 cards a turn, different story.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, even if you go with like permanent damage like Pyrohemia or stuff like that, it's still strong.
Didn't even think about Pyrohemia. A 1 damage control, like a 1 mana control the board, draw. That's 1 damage to each creature and each player, right? So that's you're able to sit there. Every 4 mana you have open can wipe 4 or under and draw you. What was it, 12 cards?
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's pretty good. I want to build Niv Mizzet.
100%, yeah.
We stop the spoilers episode right now. We just start brewing this.
Surprise live
brewing
guys.
Between everything. Yeah, there you go. All right, Thunder, you take the next one.
Yeah, I like worms and stuff from my sort of Odyssey and Legion days. So Quilled Great Worm, 4 and 2 green for a 7/7 worm with trample. And whenever a creature you control deals combat damage during your turn, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. You may cast this card from your graveyard by removing 6 counters from among creatures you control, in addition to paying its other costs.
That's crazy.
This is a really stupid card in many ways. I just built an Evelyn de Grand Prix deck where she says, when a creature with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, you put that much counters on it as well. So essentially, this kind of doubles that.
Yep.
But it just deals combat damage. So even if your creatures with Death Touch are blocked, then, it's just they just get really big really fast.
It does say deals combat damage. It does not say deals combat damage to a player. And I was thinking it's deals combat damage to a player, and I was like, wow, that's really good. So this is just like a pseudo-vigor kind of creature.
Yeah, it's crazy strong. And I mean, they've given us so many enchantments and ways to put extra counters on things or just double. I mean, that's one of the other cards in the set is Doubling Season, I believe. Mm-hmm. But it's just like they really want us to have really big creatures, and I'm happy if it's worms.
This is a standard legal set, right?
Yeah.
For
5 years, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, until 2029 at least.
Wow. All right.
So I guess we're all playing Arena again, right?
All right. Yep.
No.
Who is it this time? Slothy, I think it's you.
Sure. Next up, we've got the Rite of the Dragon Caller. 4 double red for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying.
Cracked. That's nuts.
I'm a
dangerous.
big fan of this one.
It's so strong.
That's really good. That's a really good enchantment.
Oh man!
At least it's only 6 mana.
What were you saying about Spellslinger decks?
We're so back. Yeah, exactly. Someone's little burn deck is about to overrun me with dragons. It's not even a dragon deck. What are we talking about?
Imidane loves this card.
It's crazy. It's crazy. There's some insane upgrades for so many decks in this. The next one, I don't even understand why they ever printed this. It's 7/7 for 7 colorless mana with 7 keywords, and ward pay 7 life is one of the keywords. So this has, it's Sire of 7 Deaths. This has first strike, vigilance, menace, trample, reach, lifelink, ward pay 7.
For no Eldrazi, good lord.
Yeah, there's not really a reason to do that. There's no reason to stat it that high, and ward pay 7 life is insane. Mm-hmm. That's nearly a quarter of your life in Commander. That's like, we talk all the time about how life is a resource. That's a big thing, and this doesn't care about cast triggers. Yeah, you can cheat this in. You could technically just do your typical pass your first turn, discard this, turn 2 reanimate it, and then have a first strike, vigilance, menace, trample, lifelink, your backup, your 7 the next turn. This one's a bit wild.
Yeah. Did I even play test this set? It feels
so some of these things, like I said, the fact that these are standard legal, I'm looking at so many of these cards and I'm like, this is an instant upgrade into a lot of my Commander decks. Like that Rite of the Dragon color. I have a lot of decks that just play garbage spells. They're just my Feather decks. Every one of them is every one of it's all the Wisp card. Draw target creature becomes red, draw a card. And I'm making dragons on top of that as I cast it. It's a silly upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh, Firesong and Sunspeaker. That whole deck is instants and sorceries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Your Judiths, so many.
Oh,
things.
Judith, I didn't even think about that. That's obnoxious. Especially all of them have
you're
death
touch. Board by at the same time, pretty much.
Yeah. They didn't even put a colorless requirement in the cost. So it's it can literally just go into anything.
Yeah, there's like I said, this any deck, if you're running just a deck that has lots of mana, this is just a auto throw in cool card. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Unova, a land of promise and opportunity, turned sour by economic depression at the turn of the decade. People and Pokemon alike struggle to survive even in a time of rapid industrial expansion. The powder keg brews between the populace and the military police corps. Dark, twisted forces stir just below the surface. But, in this night sky, there are stars. Pinpricks of light. Of hope. Welcome to the mad streets of Unova.
It's only you legendary, so you can make copies of this stupid Sire 7's deaths.
Sure can. You sure can make copies, yep. It's pretty dumb.
Right of replication.
That's brutal. Yeah, this is a silly one. Are you the next one, Sherman?
Sure, I'll take it up. We got Sphinx of Forgotten Lore for 2 double. It's a creature, Sphinx, 3/3, has flash, has flying, and whenever this creature attacks, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to the card's mana cost. This is really strong, in my opinion.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah, I want to put that in the Flash Flyers deck as well.
That actually would be pretty good in the Flash Flyers deck.
Yeah, that's great.
The alt art has books in it, so it might go into book tribal. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
I think you're the next one here, Slothy.
Or Thunder.
Nope, Thunder.
Thunder, okay, good. Then I'm the next one after that. I'm stealing it from you. Don't care.
So, we got another one of these damage amplifiers. Twin Flame Tyrant. 3 and 2 red for a 3/5 flying dragon. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. So, yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to double up their damage? And if you've seen some of the other cards in the set, the reprints as well, there's some extra damage amplifiers, so it's just going to be multipliers on multipliers.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty gross. That it just again slots into so many decks.
Yeah.
The next one, like I was saying, comparatively to Chandra to this one, Valkyrie's Call. This is one of the coolest enchantments I've seen in a long time. It's 3 double white. Whenever a non-token, non-angel creature you control dies, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. It has flying and is an angel in addition to its other types. That's so good.
Solid.
Anti-board wipe tech.
Strong.
It's well, that's the other thing, right? If you want to kill my creatures, I've got a lot of decks that are just creature heavy, right? Selesnya makes a lot of creatures.
Mm-hmm.
The threat of a board wipe turning all of my creatures into +1/+1 bigger creatures that are now flying angels is rough. That's a deterrent.
Yeah, I'd definitely put this next to Sneak Attack. Also in the Arthur deck because it wants to be gross like that.
Yep. Anything, right? Like just the ability to anything that cheats things out, even the end of turn, like sacrifices at the end of the turn decks. This doesn't matter.
I've got that Astral Dragon that comes in and makes 2 other flying creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So then if it dies or you flicker it, it triggers again. So you end up with like 5 creatures for free, essentially. It's just crazy.
Yep. Slothy, please.
Yeah. This one I'm actually pretty excited for. We got Zimone Paradox Sculptor, 2 green and a blue for a 1/4 legendary human wizard. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. And then you can pay green and blue and tap to double the number of each kind of counter that is on up to 2 target creatures and or artifacts you control.
That's so cool.
Oof.
It's really cool.
Doesn't this work like really well with that Ixalan card that
The Millennium Counter, Millennium Calendar, yeah.
Yeah, the Millennium Calendar. Being able to double twice a turn is real nice with that. Before untappers.
Mm-hmm. There's so many so many good ones.
I was thinking of just taking a Planeswalker, using like the Liquid Metal, Torque, or Code, making an artifact and double the counters on that.
Very, very smart, yeah. You could also Helix Pinnacle as well. Turn Helix Pinnacle into, or no, I think Helix Shroud. But like any of those things that like care about the number of counters on things, like it's a good card. I don't think there's a version of Zimone I don't like.
Yeah, they're all really interesting and they all do something kind of different.
Zimone and Dina is one of my like favorite decks to play. Like it's a really weird. It's a really, really weird deck. Zimone and Dina is like a great one. But yeah, every version of it. I really like the not Thunder Junction. I didn't like anything in Thunder Junction, really. What is it? Duskmourn.
Duskmourn one?
Yeah, the Duskmourn Zimones were cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The Manifest Dread. Oh, it's so strong.
Oh, Landfall Manifest Dread's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, who is it here?
All right. It is me. We have the Abyssal Harvester for 1 double black. Creature, Demon, Warlock. It is a 3/2. You can tap it, exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. Then exile all other nightmare tokens you control. Whoa, this is strong.
Yeah.
I can just mill something and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I almost wish this was a legendary. It would have been really cool. This is a legendary.
That'd be scary with legendary. If this, I had the commander to do this, I just go into discard and just discard something to go to graveyard and then I reanimate it back.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. From a graveyard. So
from a graveyard is gross.
Mm-hmm. Your opponents are not gonna like this.
Well, and the ability to control the grave too, like that, so good. We have Alesha who laughs at fate. 1 black, 1 red for a 2/2 human warrior. Whenever Alesha attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. And raid. At the beginning of your end step, if you attacked this turn, return target creature with mana value less than or equal to Alesha's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. I like it. That's a solid creature.
I have already swapped over my Lavisa Cold Eyes deck to Alesha.
Yeah, it's very solid. I think it's very playable. That cost is great. That effect is great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always it's always coming at you for a minimum of 3/3 first strike, which is pretty good for a 3/3 drop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Thunder. Which one do you want?
I'll take the next one. It's boring. It's Anthem of Champions. 1 green, 1 white. Creatures you control get 1/1. We get it. All right, next.
Yeah. So there's a very big cat theme. in Foundations. So I guess they're going all in on the cats. So Arabo, the first Fang, 2 and a white for a 2/2 legendary cat avatar creature. Other cats you control get +1/+1, so it's a cat lord. And whenever Arabo or another non-token cat you control enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. So it's a lord, and it makes lots of 1/1 white cat creature tokens. So, yep.
Honestly, this is solid.
It's pretty good, yeah.
It's yes, really solid. Getting, even if you're just playing like a 1-mana 1/1 cat, getting 4 power for 1 mana over 2 creature.
Did they reprint White Mane Lion in this set?
They did reprint Savannah Lions.
Yeah, that was such a cool reprint to see.
Mm-hmm.
Remember back in the day when it used to be a rare?
I run Savannah Lions in one of the Rigo decks. Everything goes in Rigo.
Everything goes in Rigo.
It has go in the name.
True.
Okay, let's go on to the next card here. We have Archmage of Runes. 3 double blue. Creature, giant wizard. 3/6. Who had the big butt? Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card. Hey!
Yeah.
Really good.
More spellslinger stuff.
Yeah.
I am a little annoyed by this one. I really like the card, but if it says runes in the name and then has nothing to do with runes and the abilities, I'm a little annoyed.
True.
We need more runes cards.
I love the rune. Yeah, the rune enchantments. I think this is you, Sherman.
I just read.
Oh, I'm bad at listening. It's apparently me, Ashroot Animist. I'm Sherman number 2. 2/1 red, 1 green for a 4/4 lizard druid with trample. Whenever this creature attacks another target creature you control, gains trample and gets XX, where X is this creature's power. Pretty solid beater.
Yeah,
not bad.
We've seen a few creatures that do that type of thing. So
this is a generic beater.
Yeah. I would like this next one because I am in love with this card.
The art's so cool. Really quickly before you talk about it, I love that this set went and did like a bunch of the planes based artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Anthem of Champions was like a really Theros based one. This is obviously Bloomborough. I love it, and I loved everything about Bloomborough.
Yeah,
perfection. Please carry on.
But yeah, we've got the Banner of Kinship. 5 mana artifact. As this artifact enters, choose a creature type. This artifact enters with a fellowship counter on it for each creature you control of the chosen type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1 for each fellowship counter on this artifact. In the lower to the ground Indrid decks, this goes absolutely silly. 1 mana 7/7, 1 mana 8/8.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah, I can see this just being like a staple. I mean, I think that a lot of these new cards that they printed are staples in many decks that already exist, and this is just a classic. Like, it doesn't matter what you're playing, if you're doing vampires or mice or whatever, this thing is just going to do so much work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like a more expensive Door of Destinies in a sense, I guess.
But I think a better one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that it's got counters,
I think it's
so you can proliferate and you just keep making it bigger. And if you're playing something really gross, like what I do with my Dr. John Dunnes leg day, he's got a bunch of training things going on there. It's like human soldiers. And if you're doing like token or counter doubling, this just goes insane. So
yeah,
I mean, that just will just completely smash the table after coming down. So
it's a good finisher, right? If you have like a big field, dropping this down with like 10 elves on the field and stuff, right? 5 mana in an elf deck's nothing. But like all of a sudden you've got all your elves are 10/10. That's pretty rough to deal with.
Make this Zimone elf typal.
There you go.
And then have it come in with 7 counters, double it.
Yes. It can go crazy. Standard legal for 5 years. It's gonna get broken.
I think this next one is you, Thunder.
Yeah. Blasphemous Edict. 3 and 2 black for a sorcery. You may pay a black rather than pay the spell's mana cost if there are 13 or more creatures on the battlefield, each player sacrifices 13 creatures of their choice. So this is like the black blasphemous version, which makes me wonder, is they going to do like a cycle of these? Because this is really, really strong.
I like this card. I like the fact that it sacrifices.
Yeah.
I refuse to call this anything other than Blasphemous Pact. That's all I'm referring it to as I cast Blasphemous Pact.
Yeah.
When I go in the card stores and be like, do you have any of these? They're going to think that I have something wrong with my head. I do.
Look, it's probably the best edict card there is. So
that's an insane sacrifice. That really, I can see this up there with the cards that make me very angry.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come down so often at 1 mana. 1 mana ruin my field. It's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt me deeply. Each player sacks 13 creatures.
But you get to choose which 13, you know?
Everything I've built up with Rigo was for nothing. Yeah, sacrifice is crazy. Regenerate doesn't matter. Shield counter doesn't matter. Indestructible doesn't matter. Obviously, this goes in every Turgid deck.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's only like between $5 to $7 right now.
I know. The set's so cool.
Go up.
Yeah.
It probably will go up, so I might as well pick it up now.
I think they really underestimate the popularity of some of these cards looking at the prices, to be honest.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here. We got Celestial Armor for 2 and a white. Artifact equipment. It has flash. When this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has flying and has equipped cost of 4, so it's going to be for 3 and a white.
Not horrible.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Well, Gavin says this is a bomb.
Right away,
so...
He said this is a bomb?
Yeah.
Eh.
I can put it in my flash flyers for sure, and I can see it going in a lot of the aggressive white or mono white or red white type decks. I like that it gives hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, so at least you're getting something out of that when it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I mean, it gives flying as well, which I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe I'll be proved wrong, but I mean, I feel like you're gonna be forced to put it on something, which maybe the other benefits don't really help. You're just trying to save a key part, or maybe that's fine. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Honestly, like I look at everything from a commander lens. It's all I have the brain to play, and to me, in commander, it just seems pretty meh. There's like the format is full of like a heroic intervention at 2. Like if you're trying to, if you have cards that are going to save you, Teferi's Protection saves all of your creatures at the same mana cost, right? Yep. There's like so many. We have access to every one of the like Brave the Elements, like give all your creatures protection from at 1 mana. So like 3 mana in equipment decks. I don't know. I can't see it slotting into a lot of decks personally.
Yeah, I could probably put it in my SRAM deck as well.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like there are some certain decks, like decks that are running artifacts, decks that are running equipment, stuff like that. They're going to be great. Mm-hmm. And like you said as well, for like some protection and a mono white kind of theme, I just think that it's pretty weak comparative to some of the other ones I've seen in the rare slot.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's no flawless maneuver.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I can see this being more of a card for limited play, but that's about it.
Well, yeah, especially if you're in a format where you're trying to hit 20 life, right? A creature getting +2/+0 and flying after I've already burned a piece of removal on it is a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So, we have
it has hexproof and indestructible, so it's really...
Yeah, right? Well, that's only for the turn, though. That's my problem.
So end of turn, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have this...
I suppose the flicker stuff that flickers artifacts would work very well with this.
That's true.
I think there's one in that mom set, so yeah, maybe that can be a thing as well.
All right, the next one, Crystal Barricade. This is 1 and a white. It's a wall 0/4. It has Defender. You have Hexproof, and you prevent all non-combat damage that be dealt to other creatures you control. That's very solid.
I like this card.
Yep.
I like this card.
I think a lot of people underestimate how frustrating you have hexproof is.
Yeah.
I've played games where I've given myself hexproof, and then people are like, "Yeah, I cast this thing, target player," and I'm like, "Nope."
Not at me, you don't.
You'll target another player. I think it's Slothy?
Yeah. Next up, we've got the Curator of Destinies. 4 double blue for a 5/5 Sphinx. Spell can't be countered. It's got flying. Whenever this creature enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library and separate them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. An opponent chooses one of those piles, put that pile into your hand, the other into your graveyard.
Wah, wah. I don't care about this.
I think it's kind of cool.
I've experienced this type of let your opponent choose piles in draft, and it works fine. But I mean, it's 6 mana for a 5/5. I feel like it needs to be a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely put something like this in Muldrotha, because you're not losing what you put in the graveyard, and I play like very permanent, pure Muldrotha. There's no instants or sorceries or battles. I suppose, I don't know if they've retrofitted them for battles, but
I think Muldrotha is just you can play permanents from your graveyard, right?
Yeah. I need to look at the article text.
Blah, blah, blah. No instants or sorceries, but
it's written with all those specific types. So
I think that's just reminder text, though.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say this in a Blink deck or a Panharmonicon, that's pretty good, because like if suddenly like you're looking at the top 10 cards, 5 and 5. You're going to get something good there, right? And being able to choose the pile. I like to politics and just say, like, give me all of the cards, whatever they are, and I won't swing this at you ever.
True, but still, at 6 mana, though, like, it requires, like, so much, like, support in that sense. Like, just looking at the card by itself, I don't care. Like, sure, we can politic with it and everything, but still, for 6 mana, I expect it to be better.
If you look at this as like the floor of it, like the worst it can be is generally going to be 6 mana for a 5/5 flyer that cannot be countered and also draws you probably 2 or 3 cards.
Yeah.
I
can find something better for that.
It's all right, I think.
The ceiling's off the charts, but the floor of it sucks.
If you whiff, it's rough.
Yeah.
Just kind of jumping back to something we were talking about. Muldrotha just says up to 1 permanent card of each permanent type in your graveyard, and if it has multiple types, you choose one as you play it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like if it's an artifact creature, I choose.
You can choose artifact or creature. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That works with battles then as well.
But basically, basically no instants or sorceries. So
yeah.
All right, who's got the next one here?
Next, Dragecatcher. So Dragecatcher is 1 and a blue for a 1/3 human wizard creature with vigilance and prowess. So for those who are not familiar with prowess, which you all should be by now, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. And then the other abilities are, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many incubation counters on it, and then remove 3 incubation counters from this creature, and you create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. So at first when I saw this, I was like, man, why is that so bad? But then I realized, hold on a second, it's whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many incubation counters, and it's got prowess. So prowess is like, if you play a planeswalker or an artifact or enchantment, these all trigger Dragecatcher to get bigger. And I think that is something that is easy to build around, and it's another Drake maker, because now we've got in one of the previous jumpstarts we got a Drake creator. There's an enchantment that makes Drakes, and then there's, I think, Talrand or whatever.
Talrand.
He makes Drakes as well. So I'm really liking that there are more and more of these types of blue Drake flyer makers out there, and I can definitely see myself building around Drakes in the future.
Yeah,
I think this is a good one in 4 of formats.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see like this card's only really good if you can find a way to like get through or make it unblockable or something like that. Other than that, I'm just like meh on this card, to be honest. So
to me, it's
the vigilance makes it actually pretty versatile, and I think that it's going to be something like, I'll attack with my Drake Catcher, and the person thinks, I'll get a favorable block, and then you cantrip, and just it gets bigger and suddenly removes something. Yeah, you don't get any counters out of that, but if you're getting to trick people like that, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, but like that's more for a one-on-one in like a group setting though. Like for Commander, like I'd rather just strike a deal with someone. Be like, hey, let me just hit you for the one. Let me start this so I can like try to proliferate or something like that, and then like I owe you a favor later on. Or you can like tit for tat, hit me back for like 2 damage instead.
Yeah. Well, I think you would definitely want to play this with a proliferate strategy. And we've just seen some ways to double counters. So I think it'll be like you don't just get 3 incubation counters and then use them immediately. You get at least an incubation counter and then you start proliferating like crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your goal is to get at least 1. Once you get 1 on there, then you can roll with that. So, Okay, what's this next card we have here? We're in the reds. Okay, drop kick bomber for 2 in red. Creature, Goblin Warrior, 2/3. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. We get another Goblin Lord. For 1 red, until end of turn, another target goblin you control gains flying, and when this creature deals combat damage, sacrifice it. Hey, this was the one we looked at.
Yeah, it was in Jumpstart too.
In the Jumpstart.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I like the concept. There's a bunch of these sort of just make little 1/1 goblins, and then with this, there are at least 2/2s, and some of them are going to go into people's face and die. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I guess you want to have stuff that triggers when creatures die as well.
It's like I said, to me, it's just I wouldn't be happy pulling this rare personally. I don't play enough
That's
goblins.
Fair.
Like especially
do it for the Lord ability.
Hold on a second. This defensively could actually be quite interesting as well, because it's until end of turn another target goblin you control gains flying, and defensively you're not attacking a player, so that goblin wouldn't die. So maybe this is actually pretty good defensively more than it is offensive.
There's a lot of decks too that are just like sweep like 1 damage to each creature on the ground kind of thing. I don't know. To me, it's such a niche thing. Like I said, like even looking at like the next one, this is a 3-drop red. The next one's a 3-drop red. We have Electro Duplicate. 2 in a red for you create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it has haste and at the beginning of the end step sack it, and it has flashback for 2 double red. I think that's just a much like it's a really good
better
sorcery. Yeah, right. I'd be much happier for that. To get 1 goblin sacrifice off, I also have yeah, right?
Yeah.
The next card, insane. Utterly mad.
It absolutely is. We've got Elenda, Saint of Dusk. 2 white and a black for a 4/4 legendary vampire knight with a lifelink and hexproof from instance. As long as your life total is greater than your starting life total, Elenda gets +1/+1 and has menace. Elenda gets an additional +5/+5 as long as your starting life total is at least 10 greater than your starting life total. That is not difficult to do.
Nope.
Yeah. You could throw that equipment onto this Elenda as well.
Yeah, true.
Again, the fact that it's just already built in, like you can't single target remove this. That's rough.
Yeah, board wipe galore.
I do like that they made this. They tried to solve the problem of the life total and commander things, right? As long as it's greater than your starting life total, 1/1 and menace. But that's again so easy to get to, and then the same as long as your life total is 10 or above, also very, very easy to get to. Like if you get an early turn 1 soul sister, second soul sister, second turn, this could be coming down on turn 2 or 3, or like on 3 or 4, as a 6/6, a 10/10 lifelink menace pro instance. Like that's rough. That's big. It's a big commander.
So it's almost like a Sarah Ascendant.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. Yes,
in a sense.
Yeah.
But like they tried to balance it a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah, it's one of the archetype leaders, I think, in the set. I think they've got like this sort of death and taxes theme going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the next card kind of feeds into that as well. So maybe I'll take the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Exemplar of Light, 2 and 2 white for a 3/3 flying angel creature. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And whenever you put one or more +1/+1 counters on this creature, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. So it's a life gain payoff, and it can draw you cards, and it works on opponents' turns as well. So it's pretty much a mono white or any deck with white draw staple in a way, because
that's
just
good.
Kind of
yeah,
so useful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a pricey card. Oh, good golly.
Yep.
Right now it is $1.50.
I got to go raid the binder.
Buy it up now.
I got to go raid the binder.
Yeah.
Just who can text your brother faster, you or me?
Their pre-release stuff went to like 3 a.m.
Oh wow.
Oh, no thanks.
Yeah.
No, I'm an old man. I like to go to bed early now. All right. The next card here is High Fae Trickster for 3 and a blue. Creature, fairy, wizard, 4/2. Has flash, has flying, and you may cast spells as though they have flash. Not bad.
Pretty good.
Is incredibly solid, yeah.
Makes me want to build more wizard decks.
Yep. My Arrington Giada is getting a lot of upgrades.
Yeah, the flash flying deck is really working.
Strong, I mean, this goes in the Kenrith. That Kenrith no turns as well. So
yeah, that's a great way to give the flash. We have a High Society Hunter, 3 double black for a 5/3 vampire noble with flying. Whenever this creature attacks, you can sack another creature. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on this creature, and whenever another non-token creature dies, draw a card. But not horrible. It's not the worst.
Yeah.
I like that.
I had not seen the next card, and I'm going to read the next card too. This is insane. Homunculus Horde, 3 and a blue for a 2/2. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, which is all a lot of my decks care about, create a token that's a copy of this creature. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
I want to get this art on a playmat. I love that.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah. This is cool for Commander, but if you're drafting, I'm not sure you want to play this card.
No, but I care about Commander, and I want to draw cards, because that's hitting your second draw turn isn't that hard to do in a lot of decks, right?
Yep.
Nah. Howling Mine alone.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I really, really like this. Got so many decks. I want to put this in my Riel deck. My Riel deck suffers all the time from not having enough creatures because I'm focused on discarding and drawing on everyone's turn. So making an army of these that just replicates higher and higher and higher, so good. All right, who wants?
Who's next?
Yeah, who wants Cowboy Kellen?
I'll take Cowboy Kellen. We got Kellen, Planar Trailblazer, single red for a 2/1 legendary human fairy scout. 1 and a red. If Kellen's a scout, it becomes a human fairy detective and gains whenever Kellen deals combat damage to a player. Exile the top card of your library, and you may play that card this turn. And then 2 and a red. If Kellen's a detective, it becomes a 3/2 human fairy rogue and gains double strike.
I sincerely cannot stress this in clearer terms. I've never cared less for any character in the story than Kellen. Nothing about any part of the design. No, there's no card design. It's all sporadic. It just, I don't care in the slightest. They really, really want to push Kellen as this new character, and I just don't care about any of the Kellen cards. I've never seen a single person again, there's not a right or wrong way to play the game, but I've never seen anyone make a Kellen deck. That's all I'm saying. Well, and I've seen a lot of decks.
I'm trying to build some Kellen decks because I want to build all the Kellens.
That's fair. All right.
I think we're going to get a 5-color Kellen at some point. That's the way it looks.
No, they could make it so good. They could be like Kellen, Lord of Slivers, and I feel like pass.
I like this one because of the play from exile, and with the double strike, you get 2 things. Because I've been looking at a couple decks where I want reactions from playing from exile. So I could see this going into those.
The nice thing is that you don't have to do this each turn. It's a static ability. Once it becomes this, it stays this.
Yep.
But I can't see myself building it.
That's going to be annoying to keep track of.
Yeah. I just don't like it. It's so negative. I'm sure some people do, but I just don't like it.
Well, I like that he's 1 mana for a 2/1 legend. So if he's your commander, you can just put him out straight away.
A 1 mana 2/1 commander is
there.
Go. Especially if on your turn 2, it becomes this. You if you're trying to swing out early and get your
advantage. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can see it's nice because it gives you a thing to do for your first 3 turns, and as long as you're hitting your land drops, which hopefully you will. So I can see it doing some work.
Who needs mana rocks when you can just pump it up?
I'd be upset. I'd be upset cracking this card. That's just me. I think it is you, Sherman.
I'll take. I can take the next one.
Wait, who read
Kiora? I read Kellen.
Oh, it's Thunder. I'm so sorry, Sherman. You can have it.
So Kiora, the Rising Tide, 2 and a blue for a 3/2 legendary creature, Merfolk Noble. When Kiora enters, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. And then she has Threshold. Whenever Kiora attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you may create Scion of the Deep, a legendary 8/8 blue octopus creature token. I don't like draw 2, discard 2 effects. That's just a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do like 8/8 octopus creature tokens. So I'm a bit torn on this one.
It's legendary too.
The fact that it's legendary though, and you've seen so many cards like Anim Pakal, like things like that, where you don't have to risk the commander to attack to get the ability, right? You've got to risk this 3/2. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
that's fine.
I think I'm playing all the break the legendary rule cards alongside this just because.
That would be cool. Yeah, like if you like throw in your Sakashimas, things like that, then it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I suppose the discard 2 gets you to your threshold quickly, which is nice. Well, and then if you're breaking the legend rule, then you just make an 8/8 every time she attacks. So
my problem though is that like it's so quickly into a commander game, a 3/2 commander without any inherent protection is not gonna cut it. That has to attack.
So it'll be like Slothy, let me attack you so this 8/8 can swing into Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's how you politic with this. Let me attack you so I can use that 8/8 to attack someone else. That's how you politic with this. That's how you keep Kiora alive.
I guess. I don't know. Like I said, the disparity in some of these rares is nuts because that's this one. Or you could crack the next one. Sherman, please.
Okay. We have Coma, World Eater. So it's for 3 and double green, double blue. Legendary creature Serpent. It is an 8/12 now. It can't be countered. It has trample. It has ward 4. Man. And when it deals combat damage to a player, create 4 3/3 blue serpent creature tokens named Coma's Coil.
Look, all I'm going to say is at least it's a bit easier to remove this Coma.
It's true. This one's easier to remove than the original one.
It's only a 5 mana Path to Exile. In a Simic deck that's gonna just run the most degenerate counterspell package in the world because they're an 8/12 trample is getting through someone.
Mm-hmm.
The Simic archetype here is Simic Ramp for Foundation, so Ko is gonna come out for sure.
It's a pretty rough one because, like I said, I think you can build a really budget, pretty annoying deck of this. You just throw in your mana rocks, you throw in your counterspells. And then you just constantly you throw in a few extra turns. What we're talking about? No, but you just creating 12 damage on any damage is pretty wild.
Yeah,
that's all I could say about that. That one's rough. I love the next one. I've already started making this one. Kaikar Zephyr Awakener, 2, 1 white, 1 blue for a 3/4 bird wizard. Whenever you cast it on, really quick fun fact about the last Kaikar. That was one of the last times I bought boxes, and I didn't want to wait for release day to get it, and I bought, without any exaggeration, 10 boxes trying to crack Kaikar. I did not crack Kaikar in 10 boxes. And it's the only reason.
Yeah.
I knew that I could have just gotten all. I didn't want anything else from the set. I was like, I want to play Kaikar today. I just kept cracking. I was like, don't worry, you're going to get one. And at the 9th box, it's like, this is irresponsible. And I was like, it's coming. Kaikar's. And I had to buy it. I had to buy that Kaikar. Still to this day angry about that.
That's actually kind of funny because I bought like 5 packs and got 2 or 3 Kaikars.
See, yeah, you had all of the ones from my pack. You were stealing. But anyways, so Kaikar holds a special place in my heart because I was so excited. My Kaikar deck's a really, really weird proliferate theme spirit deck, and I love playing it. It's so silly and weird, but I wanted to play it so bad. I was like, yes, I've got it. I've got the tech for it. And then I just didn't get it. It was pretty rough. I ended up having to, the blank cards that from Call Time. I had to draw my own little Kaikar until somebody came into the store and sold one. Anyways, so this Kaikar Zephyr Awakener is a 3/4 bird wizard, add again 4. Flying, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose one. Exile another target creature you control, return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Phenomenal. Or you create a 1/1 white spirit token. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bummer that it can't exile itself to protect itself, but I understand why it can't exile itself to protect itself. I get it.
They learned from Displacer Kitten.
I really like this Kaikar. I definitely would. I probably wouldn't build it as its own commander. I'd use it as support.
Put it in other Kaikar.
Put it in the other Kaikar and that Arthur deck. I swear I'm going to build like 5 of those at least.
I love Arthur Marigold Knight. So good.
It's just so nice.
I would honestly be mean with this Kaikar if I built it as commander. I would just like cast a bunch of spells, just flicker, or not even flicker, like they blink out because they come back and end step. Just get rid of my board, just board wipe, and then they all come back. Like, haha, I still have a board, jerks.
Just for me,
deal with me now.
For me, flat Azorius Prison. Every Azorius stacks card right in here. You want to remove my Grand Arbiter Augusta? Nuh-uh. Not today you don't, because I'm path to exiling your commander, and now he's safe.
Yeah.
You don't like Lavinia? Well, I don't care. It's, I'm going to make a pretty mean Kaikar deck. Maybe I'll make a nice one too, but it's going to be mean the first one. Slothy, you're the X, I think.
Really like this one. I really, really like the Kaikar in Derevi.
Yep, that would be an
obnoxious.
Match. Yep.
It is something that you want to do. It's obnoxious, which is kind of the entire goal of that deck. But yeah, moving on. Leyline Axe, 4 mana for an equipment. If it's in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. Your creature gets +1/+1 and has double strike and trample, and it has equip for 3.
Honestly,
I really like that.
Solid.
It's got.
I need this card. I need like 10 of this.
Absolutely, it is awesome that it can start on the battlefield and kind of get
put it every deck. Just put it in every deck.
1/1 double strike and trample is pretty good.
Yeah.
And 3's not even if you don't like 3's not a very heavy cost for an equipment.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I just like that it can, if you start with it, it goes onto the battlefield straight away. And this is just this is the 5th double strike equipment that's colorless.
There's a lot of commanders that care about
one and other ones.
A lot that really, really care about that double strike. Like, again, you even put this on your, for instance, Coma World Eater, and now you get 24 damage of 3/3 blue snakes, because why wouldn't you? That makes sense.
Boo.
Oh.
Boo.
I want to put this in the Evelyn deck because she reacts. Well, firstly, trample, double strike. Every time she hits, she's putting counters, and I worked it out with the gavel, which also gives double strike, but you need 4 counters on it first before it's enabled. Just putting the gavel on her and hitting a player just kills the player because it's 21 commander damage straight away. This can very easily get you to that as well. So yeah, it's just I need it.
I'm gonna be honest. How long do you think until they power creep something that it has double strike? But they're gonna be like, oh, this deals combat damage twice in the first strike phase and twice in the second. Quadra strike.
It could be like get an extra combat phase.
I feel like that would be like an unset thing that everybody's gonna complain about.
Yeah, because they already have Last Strike in an unset.
I was going to say, yeah, a Last Strike mechanic is interesting where it deals an extra combat, like damage at the end of combat.
I think how Last Strike was that like it deals damage last. So like you have normal. So if the zombie was blocking, you deal damage with normal damage first, and then it deals its damage.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
it's stupid. Once again, it's unset, right? So whatever.
Yeah.
Take it away, Sherman.
Ooh, it's me? Okay, I'll take loot. We have loot. Exuberant Explorer for 2 in the green. Legendary creature, Beast Noble, 1/4. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Yes. For 4 in double green, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from among them and put it onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. This is so stupid.
This is such a fun deck. Just half landfall, half the big junk 8 mana, 8/8 vanilla or trample creatures that you've got just slapped in there.
With mono green.
That's pretty good.
We got Kona, right? And now there's loot. Just put a creature on the battlefield.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 6 mana, but yeah.
But again, in a deck where if you have you can play extra land card deck, it's gonna have lands.
Yeah, and you're gonna have like your Nyx Bloom Ancient in there, and
this
all
also
that jazz.
This also just slots nicely.
On each.
Like it also just nicely goes into a lot of decks that want to play an extra land, right? Like that's passive ability. I run a lot of things that just let me play an extra land because they let me play an extra land, right? So that passive ability to me is just like gravy.
Yeah. So there's this sort of generic Kenrith reduce the cost of abilities deck that I think Daniel you're doing and I'm doing.
Yeah.
And stuff like this just makes it broken.
This is a beast as well. This should go in Slinza.
Yeah. Yep, that is true.
Slinza. I think I skipped you, Thunder, so you take 2.
Okay. No worries. Lunar Insight, 2 in a blue for a sorcery. Draw a card for each different mana value among non-land permanents you control. I think that's reasonable mid-game to late-game card draw.
Yeah.
Not horrible.
Not bad.
And then the next one is Mossborn Hydra, 2 in a green for a 0/0 elemental Hydra creature with trample. And it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. So basically it's 3 mana for a 1/1. But then it has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, double the amount of +1/+1 counters on this creature. Are they sure about this?
That one's pretty insane. Are they sure about this as a 3-drop?
Put out loot, Evolving Wilds into Terramorphic Expanse.
Enters with a 1, so 2, 4, 8, 16. Yeah, a 16 that way. Why not,
that's
right?
Pretty remarkable.
Jeez.
It's cool artwork too. But that is that's a broken ability. That's a very, very strong rare.
100%
The Shalai and Halar is just already broken. This just goes straight in there. So
Landfall with 1/1 counters alone is already good. But wow, the double? Insane. We have 9 lives familiar, 1 double black for a 1/1 cat. Creature enters with 8 revival counters on it if you cast it. When this creature dies, if it has a revival counter on it, return to the battlefield with 1 fewer revival counters at the beginning of the next end step. It's all right.
I enjoy this one.
It's cool sacrifice one, yeah.
If you cast it, it has 8 revival counters, so it's kind of 9 lives,
yeah,
right?
9 lives,
yeah.
Ooh, I have to take the next one because I'm so excited for this to be do you want this one? You know what? You take it, Slothy. But I just know, as I've said many times today, it's going in Rigo.
Everything goes in Rigo.
Everything goes in Rigo.
We got Preposterous Proportions. 5 double green for sorcery. Creatures you control get +10/+10 and gain vigilance until end of turn. That's hilarious. The art's hilarious. I love this.
That's a really strong card.
Their acorn hunt was unsuccessful, but they did find the wizard's experimental potion cache.
In any deck that's like running your generic kind of tokens, yikes.
Yeah. This
so
overrun, Crater Hoof.
Goes in Slinza, I think.
Generally all the time in Rigo, I'm just running 0-1 or 1-1 beaters kind of thing, right? So I have such a big field because it's all like 1-drop cards that suck. But I've got so much mana because I've been drawing 3 cards a turn. So dropping this down and having my 1-1s be like, all right, now I attack everybody. My Birds of Paradise is a 10-11. Fear it.
With vigilance. So.
Yeah, with vigilance. Don't get that twisted.
Yeah, I love it. It's just so big, and it just the art is glorious as well.
Yeah.
Next card, you would not believe what deck it goes in.
Wait.
Rigo?
Does this go in Rigo?
They gave me so much Rigo bait in this. I just sleeved up Rigo decks, and then I started seeing these. I was like, this hurts. This hurts me. I think it's Sherman.
The card that Daniel's talking about is Raise the Past for 2 double white. It's the sorcery. Return all creature cards with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. This is a strong card. I really like this.
Nobody board wipes my garbage.
I like this a lot.
It's really good. That's pretty solid for a lot of deck types in general. A lot of your aristocrat decks or your soul sister theme decks where you've got those like really, really low to the ground ones. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All your mirrors, all your...
Oh, I didn't even think about putting in the mirror deck. That'd be so good. I think this is Youth Thunder.
Right. Okay. Scrolling Crawler. 3 mana for a 3/2 artifact creature, Phyrexian Construct. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. So, Group Hug. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player loses 1 life. So, really good Group Hug.
I literally was like, Group Hug. And then I saw the life loss. I was like, oh no, Group Slug.
Group Hug adjacent.
It is Group Hug adjacent. That's a good card.
He's driving on the wall, though. I need to pull out the Phyrexian alphabet.
Do you have those prices up still, Slothy?
This one is $266.
It's gonna get bought out. I got a lot of decks that like to have everyone draw an extra card. A lot of them.
Oh, good golly. Good golly.
We have Seer Slicer Goblin. I don't like goblins. I just don't play goblins. That's my comment. 1 in red.
And that's the end of the show. Yeah. Let's go on.
2/1 Goblin Warrior. Right at the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, you create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It's good for goblin decks.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's not legendary, so you can make more copies of it, and then suddenly it's just lots and lots of goblins. But I've got that Balmor Goblin Adventurous deck, and it lost to the Flash Flyers, and I'm very angry about that. But you know what? Goblins generally don't fly unless you have that other goblin.
Yeah.
That can give them flying. So maybe this can work. Maybe Balmor's Goblin Adventurous is going to make a comeback.
Next up here, we've got the Sky Knight Squire. 1 and a white for a 1/1 Cat Scout. Whenever another creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. As long as this creature has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has flying and is a knight in addition to its other types.
Great.
Interesting.
With the new Arabo, you have to play...
I think 1 creature?
Yeah, 1 creature because it doesn't say non-token creature.
Yeah.
I
can see this doing some damage.
I like this because, as everyone knows, I don't like to listen to the rules in any shape or form. And this flavor text shows me that this bad boy has a name. It says, before Pashin could become the greatest Sky Knight in the kingdom, he'd have to survive his first flight. And to me, that means I should brew it.
He's named.
He is named. He is named. And a Sharpie can fix both those lines. I'll add legendary and I will add Pashin. No one's going to be able to read it. No one will have any idea. I print like a child, but it's going to be there.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. We have the Soulstone Sanctuary for a land. It taps for a colorless, and for 4 mana, this land becomes a 3/3 creature with vigilance and has all creature types. It's still a land, though. Interesting.
I like it.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I can see a few decks that really want this.
Very weird artwork.
Yeah, all those hands coming out.
The flavor text is very cool. By tradition, travelers touch the pillar for good luck. One day it decided to travel as well.
Oh, man. I almost thought it was going to say one day it decided to touch them back as well.
I thought it was going to say that too.
Oh, no. Magic chill.
One day return the favor.
I think this one is you, Thunder.
All right. I like spiders. So, Spinner of Souls. Not in real life. Spinner of Souls, 2 and a green. For a 4/3 creature, Spider Spirit. It has reach. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Wow.
That's
I
very
really
good.
like this card.
That's very good.
That's real solid. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can put that in my Spider Kindred builds for sure.
Well, the other thing too is that like creatures all die at once, so you get board wiped. Like you might refill your hand. Like there's a lot of like even like an elf deck really likes this. Elves generally peter out to a board wipe, right?
Yep.
Suddenly you throw this bad boy in, somebody board wipes me, and I go get 10 more creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just super, super good. I like that it's 3 mana for a 4/3 as well, which is a little strong for what you're getting here. I mean, compare that to the Chandra.
Right. A 4/3 at 3 with reach, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Magic cards have come a long way. I was sorting so much bulk and seeing like so many old cards, and there was like so many like 4/4 vanilla at like 5 mana. I was like, what, did they hate Magic players back in the day?
Yeah.
4/4 vanilla for 5 mana?
Yeah. A bunch
goes in Rigo.
A bunch, yeah, that's funny.
Problem used to be strong, man.
No, only creatures with power 1 or less go in Rigo. Binary creatures. The next one, Bloomburrow inspired artwork. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvan Scavenging, 1 double green. At the beginning of your end step, you choose one. Put one on a counter on target creature you control, which is so good in so many decks. That right there, worth playing. But, however, you can also create a 3/3 green raccoon creature token if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. I'm making raccoon tokens all day.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Trash Panda deck, baby.
Trash Panda, yeah.
Unfortunately, this is under the threshold for the Trash Panda deck.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
The fact that it can't that it can't trigger with the indestructible creatures one would be so good.
Yeah,
but I think it's Murara. It's the you get mana for each raccoon you control on your turn. I want to put this in this deck for sure. Put it on the list. This whole episode I've just been like on my phone just taking pictures of cards, and I'm gonna go annoy the store after this. Womp womp. It's me. I've got
the.
Oh, you know what? Which one do you want?
I'm fine with either.
You take the first one. I'll end this.
Sure. The next one we've got here is Tiny Bones Bauble Burglar. 1 and a black for a 1/3 legendary skeleton rogue. Whenever an opponent discards a card, exile it from their graveyards with a stash counter on it. During your turn, you may play cards you don't own with stash counters on them from exile, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. And 3 and a black tap. Each opponent discards a card. Activate only as a sorcery. I really, really, really like this.
I love it.
I didn't realize how much I enjoyed the word Tiny Bones Bauble Burglar until you said it. What a just amusing card name to say. Just Bauble Burglar is hilarious.
It is so fun to say. It kind of reminds me of something that you'd find in Lord of the Rings.
I just really like it.
Yeah.
I like everything about this card. I think the artwork's really, really cool. I think that Tiny Bones technically being the god of the underworld on Theros right now is hilarious. And I like discard decks. I'm not a good person. I don't know what you guys want me to tell you. It's fun to make people discard cards, and I like to play other people's cards.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows I'm going to build this with all mana rocks.
Yep.
Toxro version
all mana
2.
rocks.
Yeah. I like it. Just play everybody else's.
Tiny Bones Baubles. All artifacts all day. I'm playing everyone's cards. So good. During your turn, you can play. It's not even 1 a turn. It's any number of cards. That's really, really good. Mm-hmm. And you can play cards. So you can.
And lands too.
Yeah, you can hit their lands. This is a brutal. Oh, in Sherman's annoying Smeagol deck, the
man.
Start playing their lands from exile as well.
Yeah.
Gross.
Horrible.
What's that Phyrexian tree thing? Realm Breaker? Yeah. It's. I've been thinking that should be like a staple in many decks because
the one that lets you get their lands, yes. They mill. Invasion
mill and then take lands out the graveyard. Yeah.
Isn't it? It's not Invasion of the World Tree, is it?
No.
I think it's Realm Breaker, the Invasion tree.
Yeah, it's Realm Breaker. Yeah,
something like that.
So I put that into my Lara Croft build, and I just thought, this makes the Lara Croft deck work very well. But then I realized I can put it in almost any deck, and then you're just ramping from your opponent's libraries. And I think that this Tiny Bones is gonna basically allow you to just play from your opponent's stuff all the time. Like you said, just put a bunch of mana rocks in there.
Tiny Bones Bobble.
Other stuff to support the theft. So yeah, you don't need to have a win con. Everybody else does.
Yeah,
but it's also another way to have like the whole table go against you, though.
No question. Everyone's going to kill you.
Oh yeah, 100%. You're not going to win. You will not win.
And again, maybe they have really, really good cards that you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
I like a deck like this because it does scale to the table. If you have a table that constantly is like filling a deck with your Rhystic Studies, your Smothering Ties and stuff, them losing that in the grave sucks. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what you want to have in your graveyard for me to be able to play. I also really, really like that they've made this in the kind of in the image of Halden and Paco. So like with the fetch counters, these just get exiled with stash counters. It's not exiled with Tiny Bones. So every time Tiny Bones comes back, you still have that same stash.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And then our last rare we have today is Zool Ashur, Lich Lord. 1 in a black for a zombie warlock, 2/2. It has ward, pay 2 life, and tap, you can cast target zombie creature card from your graveyard this turn. I think that's pretty good.
Wow.
I feel like this is more of a 99 card, but it's incredibly solid.
I think you could make a pretty decent like reanimate style deck because like Gravecrawler is so good in so many decks because of that ability to keep recasting, right? But like is Gary not a zombie?
Gary's a zombie, yeah.
He is.
That's a pretty good. Same with Fleshbag Marauder and stuff like that. Like those are all zombies. Like those are not things you want to keep casting, right?
You can do, I imagine, a bit of like a theme around, like if you think Kirik and the Black Defiler. I think, I mean, if you've got ways to gain life, then it will work out. Those can help you cast those things from the graveyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
so
like, even if
this gets easier.
But even if you just go with like what Daniel was saying, like you have like Sir Conrad, where things go in and out and everyone loses life. You have like Desecrated Tomb, where things leave your graveyard. You create a 1/1 bat, and then you just like mix it in with like Bastion of Remembrance and or stuff like that, right? So like there's like for this being a commander, you can definitely do it, and it would probably be devastating. And if it's in a 99, the moment it comes out, it will still be devastating. It's still a really good card regardless.
Yeah, like it's like I said, I just think you can build a pretty decent zombie themed commander deck out of that for probably pretty on the cheap, right? Because you can work on still getting your sacrifice things. All of your just think about having constant bait for your village rights for any of those things, right? I sacrifice this creature, I bring it right back.
And then you have things like that, like tutor for creatures that go straight to the graveyard, right? So Buried Alive, Entomb, things like that.
Burial Rites, you get 3 things. Huh?
While we're talking about this,
Champion of the Perished as well would be really good.
While we're talking about this, I've been scrolling down just looking through the commons and uncommons. There's a card in here that has just phenomenal colorful artwork. It's Wardens of the Cycle. It's 1 black, double green for a 3/4 elf warlock. With Morbid at the beginning of your turn, beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you choose one. You gain 2 life, or you draw a card and lose 1 life. I love this card.
Yep.
That's
The artwork's so good. Like it's a really, really cool card. I'm such a fan of like the Belladross, like life loss, life gain kind of theme that we saw in Strixhaven. So I really, really like seeing cards like this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pretty silly cards in here.
Yeah, it's a really good set overall.
Yeah, like I said, we're definitely not gonna have time to go through the commons and uncommons. Like we're basically wrapping here, but like there's some really, really cool cards in this deck. Like there's Hinterland Sanctifier is another one. It's common whenever another creature you control enters, you gain a life, like another pseudo Soul Sister. I really, really like the direction they went. There's so many cards in this set. 139 new cards.
How about we each pick like one and we read that out, and that's like our final card to read.
All right, I've already read
like
mine,
that.
so
I have to go through them. Let's see here.
I'm just
like I stayed away during spoiler season. Come on.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So if you guys have cards that you guys want to talk, go ahead. Like I would literally have to sit here and read some of them.
Okay, so I'll read two then. So there's a card which I think is going to have a high impact in Standard. It's called Ambush Wolf. It's 2 and a green for a 4/2 creature wolf with flash. When this creature enters, exile up to one target card from a graveyard. So I like this in the sense that you can cast basically this in your opponent's end step, and suddenly you've got a 4/2 for 3 mana out, and it can remove something from a graveyard, which is also pretty relevant, especially with all these combos that are happening in Standard at the moment. And the other one that I sort of like, sort of in conjunction to it, is Beastkin Ranger, which is 2 and a green for a 3/3 elf ranger creature with trample. And whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And I feel like maybe there's some stuff here that creates the cats, like cat creature tokens, like a cat collector and the Arabos and stuff. So with the Beastkin Ranger and things with flash like this wolf, you can really cause some trouble for your opponents. And I like those types of hard to predict little combos or mini combos that you can get in these types of limited sets. How relevant it is in Commander, I'm not so sure. But I just thought that was something that stood out to me as something that will be interesting, especially during drafting or Standard play.
Like I said, my brain doesn't work enough to draft. You said you had one too, Slothy?
Yeah. So this is one that I actually saw a few days ago. But Perforating Artist. 1 black and a red for a 3/2 Devil with Death Touch. It also has Raid. At the beginning of your end step, if you attacked this turn, each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent of their choice or discards a card.
That's right.
I really, really like this in Davros.
Yeah.
Where you're creating Daleks and having them lose life constantly. It's a nice little piece for there. And also all the new Duskmourn stuff. And yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I like it. Like I said, there's way too many things to actually get through, but that's kind of what's going on and stuff. I'm happy to wrap there. There's a lot of, I've been on my camera this whole episode. I've been like, beep, 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 just sitting there snapping pictures, and it's not looking good. I'm not beating the allegations on this list. It's going to be pretty not fun. But there's that like group hug adjacent 3 mana. Everyone draws. Everybody eats. So I'm gonna buy every one of those that I can find. I really like group hug. What can I say? But yeah, that's it.
I need it for my group hug. Yeah,
it's group hug adjacent, like all things, like Rigo. No. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to the episode. If you like what's going on, like, share, subscribe. It really, really does help us out. If you want to go above it and beyond, like, share, subscribe, which is the bare minimum. Come on, people. Then come over to Patreon. Great spot to brew, chat decks. We have like all the spoilers go up in our Discord all the time too, so really good spot to see spoilers, and yeah, I just like to brew. We brew a lot, so come over, check that out and everything. If you're looking for any of these cards, go over to our great sponsors at House of Cards. Promo code IT99. That's housecards.ca, and yeah, they've got a great selection. Actually, I keep sending them lists, and they're also going to start hating me pretty soon. So go over there. It helps us. It gives you a discount and everything. It's a win-win for everyone. Put these new decks in your AI Armor sleeves because there's no better sleeves and there's no better company. Just there's a link in our bio to all their stuff. They make awesome stuff all the time. They got to stop making so many good. They have to really stop making so many ones that I like because at some point I can't afford to buy like 15 packs of sleeves a week. You know. But at some point, it's got to stop. So, yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for coming in. We just got to our 1,000 on YouTube and everything. So, thanks everyone that checked it out. We're going to have lots of gameplay videos. We're recording basically all weekend at Face to Face. So, come out to Face to Face. Promo code into the 99. Again, all one word for some reason. Don't know why. But it's promo code into the 99, all one word. Gets you another discount. Gets you extra goodies if you buy your package. Come win some prizes. I'm going to try convince them to give me another big card. It's worked so far, so I gotta eventually cover the walls. That's it. I'm good. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. Later.
See ya.